What's going on, everybody? Here to talk about moon side of Cancer. They are the nurturers, and the moon is right at home at Cancer because it rules the sign of Cancer. And they're nurturing. Friends and family are the most closest people to them, and they value the home life dearly. Now they become nurturers to the extent that it can become a smothering effect. You'll see them retreat when they get hurt from when people lash back at them and say, listen, you're doing too much or you're overwhelming, because that's what happens. They can become overwhelming, and all that they mean good. They have great intentions. They mean to say, listen, I care about you, and I don't want nothing to happen to you. I don't want you to get hurt, and that's why they behave this way. There are some people who can suffer from it because it doesn't give the individual the opportunity to grow and fall and scrape their knees and make some mistakes on their own to develop their own character. All right. So this is when Moon and Cancer people withdraw because they get hurt, because they finally understand that they're doing too much to the people that they love, and they back away. Moon and Cancer people definitely strive for finances. They need domestic and emotional and financial security at all times. So you can see them going at great lengths in order to obtain these things. They can also develop this hoarding mentality, and then it's really whatever floats your boat. Like, that's how they are. So what can be wrong with having a lot of money? You know what I mean? There can't really be anything wrong with that, right? If you want security, and this is what Moon and Cancer people search for. So I think it's more along the lines of when they are too stingy and they want to hold on to it, and too tight to spend it on things that they actually need that will be beneficial to their well-being. Now, Moon and Cancer people, when they get inside of the first house, do not sleep on Moon and Cancer people in this house, because they're used to a cohesive unit, and now they are put here to act alone because Cancer is a cardinal sign. So that means leadership, and when it's time to go out and obtain the things that provides them security, they adore taking the lead when it comes to these things, because they know they got to get up and go out there and get it in order to maintain that stability that they keep at home. Now, when Moon and Cancer people get inside of the second house, it's not so good for them, because there's a gradual process that takes place, because that Taurus energy is there, that Taurian energy, and what that does is it slows down the process. So Cancer being ruled by the moon, there's a lot of fluctuation there, so they can behave differently in the snap of a finger. And when there is a slow process, you have this Moon and Cancer energy that can have the tendency to be upbeat and then slow down, and then be upbeat and then slow down, but not really slowing to a pace to where they're saying, okay, let's make plans and plan action. Not saying that they can't do it. However, what happens here with the Moon and Cancer people, that's probably going to take repetition more, so where they can understand how to make better choices as far as going to choose cohorts or going to choose different resources that they're using to actually implement their plan. Their ability to gather people and work with people can sometimes do them a disservice when in the second house, because second house deals with personal finance. Now, Moon and Cancer inside of the third house, this can go either way, because of their mood swings and how they interact with people. It doesn't mean that they're going to get along with the people that they're trying to communicate with. All right, so this is early communication in the zodiac world, third house, right? So as far as this goes, you can find them in their neighborhood, and you can watch how they behave with their neighbors and stuff like that, or the people that are close to them around there, and that communication will discern or determine to what lengths they can excel to when it comes to getting things done. However, like I said, third house is early communication in the zodiac wheel. So here for Moon and Cancer people, they're really communicating with the people who are closest to them, which is probably family members and relatives and close friends. Moon and Cancer people, when the moon get inside of the fourth house, this is home for them once again, because Moon rules the fourth house, Cancer rules the fourth house, so they're right at home here. They have already went through the first house, take the leadership role. They went through the second house, focusing on their finances. May have had a couple of bumps along the road, trying to be a better decider of who to put their trust in or confide in to make things happen. Third house, they communicated probably with the people in their community or in their immediate vicinity, and now it's back to the home. So now here's where they develop, it's like an infant growing into an adult that goes around the zodiac wheel. So now they get home, and they have now they can put together their plan because they're at home. So it's kind of different from the second house. The second house is not as efficient or effective for planning for the Moon and Cancer people as the fourth house is, because they're home. They'd rather be home. Like, if they don't have to go out and do the things that they have to do, they will be home, right? So this is where they put it all the pieces together, and now they get ready to go back out. Now, Moon and Cancer people inside of the fifth house. I'm gonna begin with gambling. Because they're hoarders of wealth, don't get confused. Like, they will take a few risks out there and do some type of gambling, and it's usually because they already have money and they want to obtain more money, so they figure, why not? That mood swing that deals with the fluctuations can happen here. Also with fifth house is not just fantastic for Moon and Cancer people, though. That this can also be some mistakes here because of maybe some folly or some frivolous activities that they participate in that does not benefit them. So it could be like leisure time, but it can be experienced in a risk. They have the potential to face some type of consequence in this area. However, this is not an all the time thing. They do know how to have fun. They probably want to go out with the people that they care about when it is time to have leisure time in the fifth house, and do romantic things with their significant other. And if it's not a significant other, they just want to have fun, like they may be on the town. Also, one thing that's great about the fifth house for Moon and Cancer people is Moon and Cancer people, when they have health, are 100%, they're 10 times better off in the things that they're participating in. So, fifth house deals with, sports and stuff like that. So if they utilize, or when they utilize rather, the bodybuilding or the structuring, the discipline habits that comes with sports, Moon and Cancer people can really thrive inside of the fifth house. Moon and Cancer people inside of the sixth house. This deals with work environment and health. So as I said about the fifth house, right? If they are utilizing that health aspect to build themselves up in the fifth house, then you can bet that they are going to be healthier when it comes to the sixth house. So they may have better mental cognition when dealing with people in their immediate workplace, or, so what happens is they have better control over the fluctuations of their mood swings. Now, this can also backfire. Even if they have great health, they can still possess a mood swing. So it doesn't mean that they're going to get along with everybody in the workplace. Now, Moon and Cancer people, when the moon gets inside of the seventh house, this is when they start to shine. This is when they start to thrive more. And it's not like they didn't begin before, but it was just like I said, they were growing. It was like an infant growing. And when they came out of the house, that's when they really started, putting their gear on, or whatever the case may be. So when they get inside of the seventh house and they start building relationships that are business and personal, they have learned from those things in the second and third house, that, those bumps that they experienced there. And now they have a better judge of character. And now they say, okay, I'm not going to mess with this person unless they're like that. And I'm going to do business with people when they are like that. And see, they start building this entrepreneurship thing about them, and they start rubbing shoulders with the people who they determine to be more powerful, because it's like the water sign who gravitates to the power. So the Moon and Cancer people come alive when inside of the seventh house. Also, they start being better, using better judgment when it comes to significant others. It's not as the same energy as the fifth house when it's playful romance time and nothing's too serious. They start looking at spouses for, really solidifying concrete matters in their lives. Moon and Cancer people, when the moon gets inside of the eighth house, this can go two ways. Like, it can be bittersweet, and I say that because Moon and Cancer people are very caring. Like, they will nurture you for real. Like, they are devoted to the people that they spend their time on. However, it can be the total opposite when they feel that they don't have that emotional connection. If they don't have that soulmate connection, they can get bored, or they can tire out, and they, maybe they feel like they're doing too much if they're not feeling the same type of emotion that they possess back. So, what happens here is they start measuring, the other partner and seeing how they add up to what they're bringing to the table. And, a lot of the times that leadership mentality can take over to the point where they say they need to do better, just like the same way that they approach their their money business and handling and stuff like that. They may look at their romantic life in the same manner. The Moon and Cancer people, when the moon gets inside of the ninth house, this is the seasoned Moon and Cancer individual, okay? They have made their travels. They have determined who the people who are important in their life outside of their immediate family and household. And now they are broadening their horizons, and they're reading books. They might be thinking about writing one here. They want to travel long distance. They may add the creativity that they possess in this house as well. And depending on how things go with their significant others or the person, the person that they are romantic with in their life, this may be a time that they depart from them, or at least think about it. A lot of people have these thoughts in the ninth house because they deal with divorce. So that may be one of the things that Moon and Cancer people are contemplating. And they may even still support whoever it is that they're going to break apart from after it happens, because that's just how nurturing they are. If they can do it, they will. However, at the same time, if you cross them a certain way, like, they will act like you don't exist. Moon and Cancer people, when the moon gets inside of the 10th house, this is where they become strategic, actually. They have a knack for knowing when to, avoid troubles and walk sideways, as the crab does, and then get in there right in the good time in order to, make something happen as far as career goes. Now, when they're doing this and they're representing themselves and, they are exerting this image for them to be recognized for, you may be able to detect some insecurities within the Moon and Cancer people, depending on how their relationships are going with their figureheads, which is father and mother, or like authority figures in their lives, whether they're supervisors or some type of leader who is above them, or consults them into matters that they do as far as career goes. Not only that, but at this point, Moon and Cancer people are so well developed that they figure they don't really need all of the people who they needed on the way to the top, because a lot of the times we're talking about positioning in this house. So what they'll do is they'll express themselves in ways that, like, they really don't care. This is where they can be kind of haughty, however more confident, because of the things that they've achieved in life already. Moon and Cancer people, when the moon gets inside of the 11th house, okay, so this is much different for them than it is the third house, much different, because at this level, they're dealing with the heavy hitters, they're dealing with the big players, and they're trying to rub shoulders with more big players because they feel like it should be some advancement going on with whatever they're doing. And they can be rich already, so there's a flip side to this as well, that they look at it like, well, I already have money, I'm already well accomplished, so if you don't present the correct type of deal to me, I'm going to leave it on the table and I'll wait. Like, they'll wait it out. They'll wait it out and say, okay, well, I'll wait for something better to come along, because they know what their worth is, okay? And they're going to exercise that with tenacity when it gets inside of the 11th house. So when they do make deals here, they're probably going to be fewer than when they began earlier in their career. However, they know to do this because of that prestige that they already have. Now, Moon and Cancer people, when the moon gets inside of the 12th house, this is where you can see the Moon and Cancer people wear their emotions on their sleeves, and it's most likely going to be regarding a loss, okay? Because 12th house does deal with loss, and you can see it in Moon and Cancer people more than with others, because they're so adamant about their drive. Like, they have such an ambition, right, that it usually will catch them experiencing it in the spotlight more than another sign would, or more than the moon in another sign would, right? And because you gotta understand that the moon, reason why it affects them like that is because the moon in Cancer fluctuates. So there's always this rise and fall, They go through their entire lives like that, whether it's dealing with it emotionally, internally, or the things that they experience that become external from the things that they've implemented in their life. And that comes also with taking the risks of worry or concern, rather, about maintaining their position in life and maintaining that security that they need all of the time.
She has above average, bro, organized manager. T's Madagascar. See my drive, they reply fast as a NASCAR. TV plasma, queen since a teen, give me keys to your Jaguar. Oh, I'ma hop into my avatar. You should hop into your avatar. Let's update each other's repertoire. As above, as below, I hop into her avatar. She has above average, bro. Hop into that avatar. T's Madagascar. See my drive, they reply fast as a NASCAR. Caged in my cage for days and on that. She faces I refrain, jealous of Mary Jane because my aim is a mouth. No smoke in my face, don't play that in my house. So obey, okay.